up global business, thrilling spectacle. Join us as we showcase vibrant and captivating Chinese New Year celebrations from various regions across the country. Optimistic outlook. OPEC Secretary General sees a promising year ahead with the robust global economy having a positive impact on oil demand. Harnessing social media, Indonesian presidential candidates employ innovative strategies to harness the power of social media to win over hearts of the new generation. Hello and welcome to this edition of Global Business on CGTN. I'm Guan Xing in Beijing, and today is the fourth day of the Chinese New Year, and celebrations continue across the country. In Beijing, dozens of temple fairs and lantern shows are being held. On Sunday, February 11th, nearly 1.4 million visits were made to Beijing's parks. Various dragon and lion dances have also been staged in multiple cities. In Zhangjiajie, Hunan Province, a performance featuring two huge dragons, each exceeding 30 meters, was viewed by over 20,000 visitors over the first 3 days of the holiday. On Monday, a record 130,000 inbound trips were registered via the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. On the same day, a total of 279 million trips were made across the Chinese mainland, 11 million of which were made by rail. For today, railway authorities forecast over 12 million passenger trips will be made. Heading to a temple fair is one of the oldest traditions for how people in Beijing celebrate the Chinese New Year, and Huang Yue reports.
From dragon dances to crosstalk shows and even Peking opera, temple fairs in Beijing are paradise for traditional Chinese folk art. Many people are attracted to the booths displaying traditional handicrafts such as sugar figurines, paper cuttings, and silk flowers. Food trucks are everywhere, selling all kinds of snacks, kebabs, fried chicken, grilled squid, you name it. Many say they love to eat at temple fairs and not only when hungry. What they really crave is a taste of childhood.
I came with my father this morning. I like it a lot. There are so many snacks, just like what I had when I was a kid. I hear there will be a fireworks show in the evening under the giant Ferris wheel. I'd love to watch that.
I haven't visited a temple fair for years, even though it's a tradition for us Beijingers. And this year, the temple fair here hasn't let me down. This is the right atmosphere for Chinese New Year.
Western-style celebrations are also found here. Actors and actresses dress up in special costumes and join the parade, sending their best wishes to visitors.
After 3 years, we finally fully resumed our temple fair. For the first time, we are opening light shows. Visitors can enjoy special 3D light and lantern shows in the evening. We have over 4,000 lanterns that come in different shapes and designs.
Beijing has announced that it will do its best to host thousands of cultural activities over the festive season. In addition to temple fairs, flower and book fairs are planned. Hundreds of theaters and museums across the city will remain open to the public during the holiday. Other popular tourist sites such as the Summer Palace and Zhongshan Park will also stage special festive celebrations for large numbers of expected visitors. Huang Yue, CGTN, Beijing.
Various events are being held in southwest China's Sichuan province during the week-long Spring Festival holiday, drawing thousands of local tourists and foreign visitors to the capital city of Chengdu. And Zheng Songwu reports.
Now I'm at the Wuhouci, a very famous temple in Sichuan province. Thousands of visitors visit here every day since the beginning of the Spring Festival holiday. And there's also a big fair for the visitors from China and other countries to celebrate holiday. Sichuan province has always been a favored destination for holiday makers. As of Monday, about 6 million tourists had visited the top attractions in the province, generating over $10 million in revenue. During the Spring Festival holiday, it is estimated that over 130,000 international trips will pass through the Chengdu entering and exit border checkpoint. Chengdu is one of the most important cities in southwestern China, and many travelers, both domestic and international, consider it as an important transit city for their flights. And many travelers from Xi'an, Guangzhou, Shanghai, and Beijing, and also visitors from Malaysia, the United States, Australia, and other countries will visit Chengdu.
Meanwhile, the winter economy, or ice and snow activity sports and tourism, is seeing rapid growth in China. For example, skiing has become increasingly popular during the Spring Festival holiday. As our Su Xinbo reports, it's not only China's colder regions that are seeing a skiing boom. Cities in the country's warmer south, such as Chengdu in Sichuan province, is also experiencing a rise in demand for winter sports.
Ice and snow sports are getting traction during this year's Chinese New Year celebrations in Chengdu, thanks to a series of events organized by the local government. Ski enthusiasts gathered at a ski resort in western Chengdu to participate in various ice and snow sports activities.
I think it's very convenient for us skiers in southern cities because there are very few ski resorts here. I'm delighted to have found this ski resort that caters to our skiing passion.
Simultaneously, the city is providing consumers with more opportunities for ice and snow activities. A theme park in Chengdu has transformed a 6,500 square meter lawn into a ski lope and skating rinks, offering locals a winter-like experience.
I feel great because I've never celebrated a New Year like this before. While everyone goes to Harbin, I can also experience the joy of playing with snow right here in Chengdu.
In addition, new decorations and performances have been introduced, enhancing the festive atmosphere of the Spring Festival. Activities such as rose displays, line and long dances, and poetry readings have attracted a large number of locals and tourists. The popularity of ice and snow sports has also created a new growth point for Chengdu's sports consumption economy. According to the report by the General Administration of Sports, ice and snow sports have become the most participated sport among Chengdu citizens. The rising demand for ice and snow sports equipment sales, sports training, and tourism has formed a new consumption model, expected to continue driving the local economy's growth. Su Xinbo, CGTN, Beijing.
China's Ministry of Transport is forecasting some 9 billion passenger trips being made during this year's Spring Festival. Our Yu Yang reports on how the country's airlines stands ready to meet this record-breaking travel demand.
The footsteps of people returning home for reunions are being heard at airports across China during the biggest festival season. And the country's civil aviation administration says a record high number of passenger trips is expected during this year's travel rush.
We came to Beijing for traveling, and now we're heading back to home, Shanghai, to celebrate the Spring Festival. My family's waiting for us, and this year we have seen lots of travelers at the airport.
I'm going to Paris. My husband is working there. We can spend 2 weeks together to celebrate the traditional Chinese New Year in Paris.
This Spring Festival travel rush will last 40 days, and earlier China's Civil Aviation Administration says the sector expects to handle 80 million passenger trips during this period. That's an average of about 2 million per day. This represents a 10% increase over the 2019 Spring Festival travel rush figure and an increase of nearly 45% year-on-year. Authorities say the travel volume is expected to hit peaks on February 16th, 20th and 25th.
During the 2024 Spring Festival travel rush, Air China plans to operate over 67,000 passenger flights, an increase of 32% compared to the 2019 period and over 40% compared to the level of last year. Some of the popular destinations are cities in Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei region, Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area, as well as Sanya and Haikou in South China's Hainan province.
Chinese Civil Aviation Administration believes the outbound tourism markets will see a short-term peak during the Spring Festival travel rush, and countries and regions such as Japan, South Korea, and Southeast Asia are popular destinations. And more direct flights between China and the Belt and Road partner countries started from the beginning of this year.
During the
2024 Spring Festival, Air China will carry out 187 international and regional flights per day, which is 79% compared with the level of 2019. We have scheduled 105 international routes, including 54 flight routes traveling to the Belt and Road partner countries, 92% of the 2019 level. Those destinations include Astana, Istanbul, Colombo, and more.
Meanwhile, China Southern Airlines has launched flights between Beijing and Almaty, the largest city in Kazakhstan, and China Eastern Airlines has opened a route to Kuala Lumpur. Experts say with China achieving comprehensive mutual visa exemptions arrangements with 23 countries, including Thailand, Singapore, and the Maldives, the tourism market during this Spring Festival is expected to see the hottest outbound tourism in 5 years. Yu Yang, CGTN, Beijing.
In many of China's rural areas, villages' Spring Festival galas have become a common occurrence in recent years. Such showcases are platforms for villages nationwide to promote their unique features and cultural development. The village gala in Huilongshan, Yunnan Province, culminated in a Tiaocai dance performance by the Yi ethnic group. The dance is a national intangible cultural heritage and has a history of over 1,200 years. And Shaoluo village in Sichuan Province has held a local Spring Festival gala for 19 consecutive years. This year, a group of local retired salt workers created a dance inspired by salt mining and become the most popular featured performance. And in Hubei's Fanshan Yan village, many traditional folk programs promoted the area's local culture and customs. This year has witnessed a renewed interest in Su Dongpo, a literary giant from China's Song dynasty, which existed nearly 1,000 years ago. A museum in China's Hainan province is currently showcasing various cultural relics associated with the renowned poet. Additionally, the provincial capital of Haikou has hosted Dongpo-themed cultural markets. Take a look.
What are those kids doing?
It's a traditional Chinese ceremony for kids about to begin school. Have you tried this? Do you know what it is?
Bamboo?
Yes, made by bamboo. Yeah, it's actually a game called Cuju.
They play, like football. It was before a long time ago.
Exactly. It's kind of like traditional football in Chinese history, and it has like thousands of years history. Anyway, let's try it out.
Okay,
now, all right?
First.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready. I believe I'm a talented football player. Okay.
Oh.
See?
Yes, of course.
I made it.
So many poetry here.
Yep, and calligraphy, right?
You see? Let's check this amazing calligraphy here.
It's considered as one of the masterpieces of Su Dongpo's work, and it combines with poetry, love, and calligraphy.
It's kind of, culture, soul, everything.
Yeah. This is the actually exhibition of Su Dongpo, and this will run 3 months and features 332 cultural relics. It was in Song dynasty when it comes to rain, and Su Dongpo used to have it to protect him get wet,
And also from the sun, we can do that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
How I'm looking?
Like Chinese.
That's good.
That's good.
Yes, of course. Yangqin,
and so on. They take the local materials to make the instruments, like bamboo, like the coconut shell.
Interesting.
That's why it's quite popular in Hainan. Right?
Yes, of course.
And now we're heading for a short break. Still to come on Global Business. Optimistic outlook. OPEC Secretary General sees a promising year ahead, with the robust global economy having a positive impact on oil demand.
The Chinese New Year is about heartwarming homecomings. Dive into vibrant celebrations and traditions coming to life. Discover the allure of Long-inspired art. Savor festive flavors of reunion. Seeing blockbusters become part of cherished memories. The thrill of winter sports offer a unique festive gateway. This Chinese New Year, get to know new spending trends with our special series, Spending Smart, the Chinese New Year Boom. Only on CGTN.
OPEC Secretary General Haytham Al-Ghais expressed optimism about the stability of the global oil market on Tuesday. He emphasized that the robust global economy would have a positive impact on oil demand. Al-Ghais also clarified that Saudi Arabia's decision to postpone the planned expansion of its oil production capacity should not be misinterpreted as a reflection of declining demand. In late January, Saudi Arabia requested its state oil company Aramco to revise its target for maximum sustained production capacity to 12 million barrels per day, which is 1 million barrels per day lower than the previously announced target. Moving on to some other business headlines from around the world. Asian stock markets edged up on Tuesday as the greenback remained steady ahead of the influential U.S. inflation report, which will impact the timing and forecast of Fed's interest rate cuts. The Federal Reserve expects a moderation in the consumer price index, a deviation from the recent surge in interest rates. UK wage growth slowed to its lowest pace in over a year by the end of 2023. However, the moderation in the labour market is unlikely to prompt the Bank of England to take rapid action on rate cuts. And official data due on Thursday may indicate a slight recession in Britain's economy during the second half of 2023. French statistics agency EC has revised the country's jobless rate 0.1% higher than the initial forecast to 7.5% in the fourth quarter of 2023. The rate remains stable and witnesses a 29,000 increase to 2.3 million compared to the previous quarter, representing a 0.4% rise from the four-decade low record at the end of 2022. Farmers are facing rising costs in various areas such as energy, fertilizers, and transportation, while European governments and supermarkets have been reducing food prices to alleviate the cost of living crisis for consumers. The European Union's decision to waive duties on inexpensive agricultural imports from Ukraine has resulted in lower prices, causing frustration among farmers. Additionally, there is growing concern about the EU's farm-to-fork strategy, which is part of its Green Deal, aiming to achieve climate neutrality by 2050. Agriculture in the EU contributes 11% of carbon dioxide emissions, but farmers themselves are also experiencing the negative impacts of climate change and extreme weather. Giles Gibson provides further insights from Western Belgium.
Vincent Delabelle's family has been farming this same land in Western Belgium for more than 300 years. With his herd of 70 dairy goats, he produces organic milk and goat's cheese. Vincent also took time away from his day job at the start of this month, joining thousands of farmers who took over central Brussels with a vast protest. And he was one of several farmers who sat down with top European officials that day.
I would say that we have been listened. It was really thanks to very high pressure from the protest, both here in Brussels, but all in the country and even all around Europe. At the same time, this was really important for us to be listened. It opened the doors, but now we really ask for concrete actions.
Vincent admits that his industry does have to change as well, saying relatively small farms like his are leading the way in adapting to climate change.
This peaceful farm feels a long way away from the noise and the colour of the recent protests in Brussels.
But farmers like Vincent say that their protest movement is just starting, that their dissatisfaction has been building up for many years now. The recent demonstrations have forced EU officials into almost immediate concessions, such as dropping plans for new restrictions on the use of pesticides.
The months ahead will not be easy. But I think we have an important opportunity now. It is clear to everyone in this House that our agri-food sectors, beginning with the farms, needs a long-term prospect and a willingness to listen to each other and to look for common solutions. We need to avoid the blame game and to find solutions for problems together.
The challenge in finding those solutions is that different farmers in different countries have different demands. For Vincent in Western Belgium, the EU's trade talks with Mercosur, made up of South American countries such as Brazil and Argentina, are top of mind.
The Mercosur, EU-Mercosur free trade is a very big threat for us because it would mean a lot of imports of very cheap meat and feed that are not produced with the same norm and same standards as what we are doing. It would be a very unfair competition for all farmers and putting more pressure, on the prices and on the availability in the supermarkets as well. So this must be stopped.
So if the farmer protests rumble on into the summer and closer to the European elections, EU officials shouldn't kid themselves. They're negotiating with a group of people who measure out their time in seasons, not days, who often have a connection with their land and livelihood that goes back centuries. Giles Gibson for CGTN in Western Belgium.
The World Government Summit is taking place under the theme of Shaping Future Governments in Dubai. The summit serves as a platform for governments, international organizations, thought leaders, and private sector leaders to come together and foster international cooperation. And the goal is to identify innovative solutions that will help governments tackle future challenges. And for the latest on the ground, let's cross over to our Jim Stellman in Dubai. Hi there, Jim. Good to see you. Brings us the latest on the summit.
Well, it's been a busy 2 days here at the World Government Summit, now in its 11th year, as this gathering of some 4,000 delegates, thought leaders, and policymakers prepares to wrap up, having touched on matters such as economic growth, artificial intelligence, and future governments, as well as food security. The timing of this event, of course, will not be lost on few as Israel's war on Hamas continues, which has claimed the lives of over 28,000 Palestinians, with more than 67,000 having been wounded. That's according to Gaza health officials. The conflict has been felt right here in the Arabian Gulf, where Iran-aligned Houthis have attacked shipping cargo in the Red Sea, which is among the world's busiest trade routes, of course, causing significant disruption to global supply chains and impacting the cost of trade, which some fear could lead to global inflation. Speaking here at the World Government Summit, the UAE's ambassador to the United Nations said on Monday that her country is working towards a long-term solution to the war in Gaza. This as Israel freed 2 hostages during a raid in Gaza that killed over 60 Palestinians yesterday. The ambassador said that the UAE is pushing for an Israeli and Palestinian state fully integrated into the broader region here in the Middle East. The UAE, alongside Bahrain, of course, established diplomatic ties with Israel back in 2020 in a U.S. brokered deal. Since then, several other Arab states have joined that agreement, but crucially not yet Saudi Arabia, which holds significant influence across the Middle East.
Well, thank you for all that information, Jim Stellman for us in Dubai. And let's turn to Indonesia. The country gears up for its presidential election on Wednesday. A new era of political campaigning unfolds, with TikTok taking center stage. In a country where millennials and Gen Z voters form the majority, candidates are leveraging the power of social media to woo the new generation. And Indonesia is TikTok's second largest market, and the app is transforming the landscape of election campaigning. And so Kila Aluwalia reports from Jakarta.
As Indonesia's election approaches, a digital battleground emerges. Social media apps like TikTok has become the new platform for the presidential candidates to connect with the nation's millennial and Gen Z crowd. Ephraim is one of them. He likes how all three candidates are using light humor to address serious issues.
This approach works for me personally. There's the virality of it that young voters enjoy too. But ultimately, we're looking for a president that can help us get to the root of what we care about, such as the environment. I'm voting based on that concern, and I can see all three candidates are making an effort to shift conversations around it. More can be done, but I can see they are trying.
Ida, on the other hand, is looking for a candidate that can properly execute their plans and promises.
I think what the youth are now forgetting is that we cannot fix these very real problems that are of the most relevance to the youth without also fixing the democratic system of our country. So we cannot just pick leaders that are the most fun or the most engaging in social media. We have to pick leaders that have a clean record of care and commitment to the public service, to their leadership, and also ethical considerations.
It's clear that all three candidates are engaging through youth-oriented content, from Prabowo Subianto's dance performances to Anies Baswedan's appeal to K-pop fans and Ganjar Pranowo's movie gimmicks.
We know that maybe the older generation, like the millennials or the X or even the baby boomers generation, they thought that politics is about the state, is about the security and about the international relation, about the candidacy and anything like that, and anything about the great narration of politics. But the young people today, they think that it's not related to their needs. So they need the things that really relate to them. And one of them is about sexual harassment, and also about the workforce, and also the environment.
With so much information easily accessible, the challenge is misleading content. However, TikTok is doing its part to combat this. The app does not allow paid political ads and is working hard to fight fake news through partnerships. Indonesia is at the forefront of a major change this election season. But with all this new technology, the question remains, how will these modern campaign methods change voter involvement? And even more crucial, can the country keep election conversations honest in the fast-moving world of online videos? This year's election is a real test of balancing tech, politics, and truth in the social media age. Silkina Aluwalia, CGTN, Jakarta.
Before we go, we would like to share an enchanting dragon dance performance from Chongqing, located in southwest China. Over 20 skilled dragon dance masters expertly maneuver two majestic dragons amidst a spectacular display of fireworks resembling molten iron. And this captivating celebration marks the arrival of the Year of the Loon and showcases the rich cultural heritage of China. I'm Guanxing in Beijing. Stay tuned.